Hi guys, and welcome to Town Hall Episode 13, Heroes of the Storm podcast. We are back on Twitch TV, guys, so make sure you hit that follow button if you want to be notified when we do future shows. Let's just introduce the guests. Below me, we have my longtime casting partner and good friend, Shamtu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really well. It's the summertime is coming in. It's the perfect time to throw an AC right in front of you and game all day long while everybody else is out having fun.
What, you're not having fun gaming? What is this? What is this?
Well, no, I mean, everybody's outside, so I get all the pipes to myself. I get all the internet traffic.
This is true.
This is true. Make my room like 800 degrees.
Because during peak hours, your internet goes to crap. It's just terrible, right?
Oh,
How hot does New York get in the summer?
Hotter than...
Not Texas hot.
Not Texas hot, of
Not
course.
Texas hot, but it's a
humid.
city, though.
100 degrees plus humidity, somewhere between 90 and 100, sometimes 80.
What happened?
10. Who knows?
Okay, well, to the left of him, we have former Smash community event organizer and sexy Bruce Willis lookalike. It is Omega Backmage. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Freshly shaven. Look at this dome piece. Good. Doing good. Doing good. Yeah, you know what? My internet's been a little laggy with Blizzard lately. Very upset. Diablo and Heroes. But last night was pretty good. I actually got some games in with Kev and Jake. Other than that...
Corey, we played once together. You know that? That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, well, that's because you don't invite me.
Not everyone is worthy of Bruce Willis. Like,
yes,
only some
Absolutely.
get the privilege of playing Bruce Willis.
The Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm. Well, above him, MLG employee, streamer, and just all-around smasher slash heroeser slash Diabloer. I don't know what to classify you as, man. I don't know. Jake,
unmuted,
what's up,
perhaps?
dude?
I'm unmuted. I'm not muted right now.
Boom. Unmuted.
If I had to classify myself, I'd say I'm a Blizzard fanboy and a smasher. Yeah, that's the best way to classify me. But yeah, I'm good. I'm busy. We're back at Twitch. It's kind of cool. Bittersweet, but it's cool. I'm pumped, and we have a sick show ahead of ourselves. What's up with you, Jared?
Yeah.
Look at this. He's stone cold. He's just reading.
Sorry.
He's not even listening.
Whoa, what?
He's not even listening.
What's the first
an echo, so I turned on the stream to see if I could hear an echo, and I didn't hear it, so...
Huh. The echo is real?
The echo is... I didn't hear echo, but...
Huh. Who is echoing? Just type in the chat. Keep going. Keep going.
Anyway,
I'll try to resolve it.
Let's talk about Heroes of the Storm, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this game that we're in love with. Heroes of the Storm, guys. For those of you just first time turning into the show, it is a Blizzard... what do they call it? They don't call it a MOBA. What is Blizzard's actual...
Heroes Brawler?
Heroes Brawler, yeah. The Blizzard's Hero Brawler. So let's just dive right into it. The map Dragonshire, guys. You know, currently, Dragonshire is probably my least favorite map. I kind of don't like Curse right now. And the reason I dislike Dragonshire is... the Dragon Knight, after the first one, sometimes the second one can be good, but after a while, it just falls off completely. You know, late game, I would rather have your hero in the fight than the Dragon Knight. And that game, you know, my games average at like 20 minutes all the time, even when we're kind of just controlling the map and stomping them. Like, sometimes that map can be a little difficult to end on, unless you do like a big double Knight push. What are your guys' thoughts on Dragonshire? Do you think that in the current meta for it, it's stale? And what do you think, if so, what do you think Blizzard can do to improve it? Kev, take it away.
So I think there's a couple of problems with Dragonshire. I think one of them is the positions of the mercs. There's the mercs that you know, there's two knights that can run atop the on the top lane, and then there's all of the siege giants run on the bottom lane. And the problem with that is that it's really nice on other maps that you can get like a Knights and Siege Giants push going or something like that. But it's like you have just these two giant divergences in the map, and they're going such a long distance every single time that you actually like have to really plan out when you're getting all those mercs. The other thing is, yeah, the Dragon Knight really just doesn't really do that much. You know, for a while we were all committing 5-man with the Dragon Knight and pushing, and then we were like, let's split up, so we have 2 on top, 2 in bottom, and Dragon Knight in the middle, but then the Dragon Knight was dying really quickly, and even then, the Dragon Knight just doesn't really seem to accomplish that much. Like, Curse and Curse Hollow, you can get up to 3 to 4 forts with the first Curse, as well as you force team fights every single time. In Blackheart's Bay, the same thing. You always are fighting at the chest. You're always fighting for the chests. You're trying to get those coins, etc. You're targeting the person who has 10 coins on them. Dragon Knight, I mean, people contest the shrines, but then like the shrine pops and then everybody just runs to the Dragon Knight, but it's never really a good engagement, I feel.
Jake, thoughts?
No, I mean, honestly, just, no, I had my mic muted because my keyboard's really loud, so. But no, I mean, the dragon just doesn't scale well. I mean, late game, it's worthless. That's a big thing, because I think a lot of the maps, like Kev said, you know, the stuff scales really well. Like Curse Hollow, if you get the Curse late game, it's still ridiculously good. But on Dragonshire, like, you just ignore the dragon. It's really not I mean, it might suck up some damage, but then you're sacrificing, like, if you're level 20 and you're sacrificing the ability to use your heroic ability at 20, like, that's awful. Like, it doesn't matter what character you are, that's just not good. It's not worth being able to suck up some extra damage. So, yeah, it's great in the beginning of the game, but overall, and the games are too long. They're too drawn out. I mean, somebody had an hour-long game the other night on Dragonshire.
And it's always Dragonshire. It's never Blackheart.
Awful.
Yeah.
Hour-long is so long for heroes. It should be like 25 minutes. Like, but so hour-long is way too long. So I mean, that alone right there is against their core design of the game. They're saying they want it to be a faster-paced game. They don't want hour-long matches. They've said that many times. So even based off that alone, it's just like there's something wrong with the map.
If you compare it to like Blackheart Bay, the way the objective works is, no matter what, the game will eventually end if you're doing objectives.
Yeah.
They will clear the map. Now, you can't design all maps like that, but that's a great way for Blizzard to force a game to end. Dragon Knight does not have that. Corey, you have any thoughts to add about
I want to see, this is a big thing, you guys both brought this up, was that, you know, late game doesn't scale well because you're missing that heroic ability. Why doesn't the Dragon Knight get an extra ability at level 10? That scales up even at level 20, or even something when you take the Dragon Knight
Ultimate.
Yes, no, seriously, why not? Like you could have something as soon as you pop it, you're given the choice of a heroic ability as soon as you get it, and then it actually has some impact. That's like a really easy fix for it, I think.
I mean, I don't want to say that he's completely useless.
Yeah, he's not like it's dead.
He's got that ridiculous amount of health. It's just that I find that if you're forced into a 5v5 team fight, he's got his flame and he's got his kick, and the kick is like a really good haymaker, but unfortunately I don't think it really makes enough of a difference to really make that Dragon Knight awesome. Like, yeah, you're right, I kind of sometimes want that heroic ability, but if he's if you have a tank on Dragon Knight, is that much of a loss?
I mean, it depends. Like, early game, the Dragon Knight is great, but late game, I would rather have, you know, an ETC on my team than the Dragon Knight for 45 seconds.
You're
That's
talking
exactly
about, like, Mosh Pit versus a tanky dragon that can kick someone out of the fight. Like, what do you want to have on ETC? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, but, I mean, you have this hero that does extra damage to Palace. It also has a ridiculous amount of life and can take out at least one person every 10 seconds or so.
I don't know.
It's like a haymaker every 10 seconds. It's stronger than haymaker. So I mean, it does have some viability in it. I mean, is it as strong as other map objectives? Probably not. I mean, I think a lot of people don't really use Dragon Knight perfectly, though.
Like a lot of the map objectives, the dragon is designed to take down walls. He's designed to take down, keeps, forts, and towers, and that's kind of its purpose. But like late game, you can do that faster with just a normal carry. Like it's not that necessary to have that tank, because you can have ETC or someone just tank the shots from the towers. So maybe it needs to scale more. Maybe it needs to be stronger late game. I don't know, but something's off.
Yeah, I really don't know how they can fix. Like, maybe, like Kev said, the way the mercs work, to where you can like end the map a little bit easier with a solid push. I don't know. Like the Dragon Knight itself, just like, unless you have like a Stitches on your team where you can like solidly push a fort as a 5-man, and if any of them like stick their heads out through the gate, you can hook them and get an easy kill. Unless you're like running a comp like that, like it's just it's not the easiest to secure kills, and he's not really that big of a threat, to be honest. Like, even early game, like as soon as you can get the Dragon Knight, even if you get that, it's just kind of like, okay, have 3 people defend mid, he'll get the tower walls and the wall, he won't get the keep.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to really kind of throw together. I do find it less effective than the objectives on other maps, but
yeah. So let's go around. Do you guys think it's just the meta, or do you think this map needs to be changed, Kev?
I think the map needs to be changed. I think the mercs need to have different paths. I think we need a merc that can go down mid. Whether or not it's the 2 siege giants that like are kind of closer to mid than they are bottom, but they go bottom, or something. But they need a merc camp that goes mid, because I know Dragon Knight spawns in mid, but if you don't have the ability to push mid without being there, I don't know. I don't really like it.
I mean, I agree completely. I think that either the Knights or the Giants need to go mid because, I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, it's cool to be able to have 6 siege giants push bottom lane.
That's so fun.
It's funny, and it's if they don't take care of it, it just rips things apart. That's cool and all, but I feel like that the mid giants should push mid for sure.
Yeah. Corey?
I'm sticking to it. I think he needs an extra ability of some kind. Something that makes people actually want to take him later on in the game. I think without that, you're still going to run into the same problems. Yeah, the Merc camps running down specific lanes would help speed up the map a little bit, but I think the majority of the staleness of the map is coming down to the Dragon Knight not being taken after like level 10.
You know, Nick Shots brings up an interesting point in the chat, and he's saying the Merc should stay up when you grab the Dragon Knight. How do you guys feel about the Mercs all disappearing as soon as you grab the Dragon Knight? Because
that's a good point, yeah.
That would personally, in my opinion, make the Dragon Knight even worse. Because most people would want to converge on the Dragon, at least send 3 people there. But if I'm against a team where Mercs are up and they've got the Dragon Knight and they're trying to push mid, guess what, guys? Let's go take all the camps and push their lanes in while they're like taking a tower mid or a fort mid. We take top and mid or bottom at the same time.
Yeah, sure. But like here's the scenario: you take the Dragon Knight, and then you can immediately go over to their knights if they're open. Like, how are they going to even contest that?
Good. They shouldn't. They lost the map. They lost control.
Right, that's
of the
what
map.
I'm saying. Like, I think that would actually help the team that actually gets that.
I mean,
it goes either way, really.
God,
it
depends. But if it's
Dragon Knight
not open,
with Knight's buff.
Oh god.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I mean,
You would. It already does like 500 damage a hit. You would just be fall down.
So, I mean, in theory, you can accomplish that as it is because you can grab the Knights and then grab the Dragon Knight.
Yeah,
but
that's much
that almost rewards that play being like a really sick play if you can actually time that up and pull that off. I know that'd be really hard to do though. I was thinking that might be doable with the old bribe, but with the new bribe, that'd be pretty difficult to actually pull off. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's a pretty good discussion.
I think a level 20 ability, maybe not a level 10. Level 10,
yeah,
I think
maybe.
Early. A level 20 ability, like maybe.
Well, it doesn't have to be something that's super ridiculous at level 10. Maybe
Dragon
something
Knight
you get and then it
Hyperbeam.
scales up quite a bit at level 20.
Dragon Knight learns Hyperbeam.
There are a lot of these, like, you know, that someone made a Mythbuster video for Heroes the other day. It wasn't really myths, it was just pointing out things, but a lot of people like to say things like, after the 5th Dragon Knight, he scales much, much better and stuff. Is that actually true?
Not that. I've seen games where that's
100 skulls versus 99 is a big deal.
That's why I don't believe a single thing just because of that.
Here's the problem: if you get 5 Dragon Knights, you're probably already really far in the lead. So it's like you're not even gonna notice it. Like there's just no way to tell that.
I'm correct in saying that the skulls scale per skull for the Grave Golem, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
linearly.
99 to 100 makes the same difference as 1 to 2.
There was a certain member of our special Heroes chat that put on a big lie that said when you hit 100 skulls, it is exponentially better than 99.
Huh. Yeah, I think that's false.
Also, he was the same person that got the meta of rush the watchtower on Blackheart Bay. Everyone does it.
They still do it.
Still do it, too.
They do do it.
It's the worst meta ever.
It's the most fun meta to watch because it's hilarious.
Out of the gate team fights the best. Yeah.
Anything to add to Dragonshire, guys?
I think they just need mercs that go down mid. Maybe a level 20 ability on the Dragon Knight.
That would be really
I think a lot of people don't utilize the fact that you can cancel Dragon Knight, and that does still cause the giant explosion that pushes everybody back. If I remember correctly, I think it still does that. I know you can hit R and it'll cancel Dragon Knight. I'm not sure if it explodes. Maybe we could start using that in a way to like spread out everybody and then tacit our force field so that they're all stuck. Who knows? But I think, yeah, I completely agree. The games last way too long.
I mean, on a side note from just Dragonshire in general, I kind of hope they put new maps in the mix pretty soon, because we know those maps were made pretty quickly right before BlizzCon. At least some of them were. I think Cursed Hollow they just built like within the week of BlizzCon, so it can't be that much of an undertaking. Blackheart's Bay. It can't be that much of an undertaking to put together another map or two, and I'd like to see more on the rotation, because they've said they're going to rotate the maps out. They're going to add new maps in the mix. So, how long have we been in the beta? 2 months plus.
Alpha, 2 months. Yeah.
Alpha, yeah.
Alpha,
it's been 2
months. A little
months.
over 2 months.
And I think we're pretty due for maps, so I hope we see at least a new map pretty soon.
At least one new map. I think.
I don't think we need two, but one would be nice.
There's so many things going on with the Alpha, though. You don't know what their primary focus is right now.
So to just pose a question, if we had to remove one of the current maps, which would you want removed?
From competitive play, I would like Haunted Mines removed. I really don't like that map. I think it is silly. But from just like random play, Dragonshire. Yeah.
For competitive play?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think Cursed Hollow is silly.
For competitive play, Cursed Hollow. Too much RNG. Too much random number generator.
That's a good point.
I agree.
Way too much random number generator to actually
map.
be able to make... It's a great map. I think it should have a very set... Because it's not only like where the curse spawns, but when the curse spawns. It's, hey guys, we hit the 2-minute mark. In the next 40 seconds, there may or may not be a curse every 5 seconds. Or a tribute, I should say.
Right.
I think that's my biggest problem.
Agreed. I agree completely, yeah. I don't know, it's a tough call. I mean, just from, like, the worst map overall, though, I'd have to say it's Dragonshire. If we're just ignoring, like, we're going into a tournament, what map do we want to avoid? Just, like, regular play to Dragonshire.
Okay.
I think I would agree.
I'm never happy to play on mines. I'm never happy to see that pop up.
I never smile. It's weird now.
That's always going to be my vote for now. I don't know. They got to really do something with that map, but that's another topic, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe next week we'll talk mines.
Yeah.
However, we have something new to talk about. Guys, if you're new to Town Hall, it is our favorite segment, the Cooby's Question!
I will revive that graphic someday.
Yeah, where? Seriously, where did they...
Corey,
I was so happy. I was so happy when I saw that the first time.
I know, that was great. Tempo had the little horn.
My day. He had the horn. And then he lost it. I lost it. I'm going to give you a lot of flack for that every single week until that makes its grand reappearance.
I'll do it after the show tonight in 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. You said that last time.
Go ahead and explain to the viewers what Cooby's Question is.
Okay, all right. Cooby's Questions is where I delve deep into the thought-provoking or perhaps controversial questions for the rest of the co-hosts. They have no idea what's coming ahead of time. I just like to throw them, little curveballs here and there, see how they think on their feet. All right, so we sort of had themes for the previous weeks. Talked about tanks, talked about healers, talked about the little rock, paper, scissors system. You guys can check those out in the previous VODs. This week, I want to talk about heroics, particularly bad heroics. And I think there's a lot of them. And so basically...
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you guys... I know, there's just so many bad ones. I don't know. We could really go on a long time talking about this.
Can I bring up one real quick? One that I think could be much better. It's not necessarily a bad ult, but could be much better and make him a lot more versatile. Falstad. Aerial Blitzkrieg could be a much, much better ult. The problem with it... Heroic, excuse me. Sorry.
No, I thought about this a lot between, heroic is 3 syllables. God, it's so long to say. The reason we all say ult is because it's 1 syllable, and it comes off really fast. But
all right, I'll let it slide based off that.
So, his Aerial Blitzkrieg is Falstad's AoE stun. I believe it has a 1.5-second cast time. It does decent damage and stuns a lot of people in large radius. The problem is, Falstad is very squishy. He has to get close enough to the people to get it off.
Yeah.
The main problem I have with it is you cannot move while casting it. What I would like to see on Falstad is it becomes a channel cast instead of just a standstill ult. So, you could be diving in, and you have a movement decrease while you're doing it. But as long as you can move while casting it, it can prepare a lot better setup for that ultimate, making it much better. It's not necessarily a bad ult, but I think there's a way to improve it to make it a better ult.
That's a really good fix. I like that suggestion a lot.
And it's funny because they know that that's a huge issue, because if you look at the 20 upgrade, it's halves the casting time, gives you a massive shield while you're charging it up. It's they know that that's the problem with the heroic, but they still leave it as it is.
So you want it to be more like Lily's super sick heroic where she summons the dragon, right?
Wow,
You're
there's
off
just
the
straight
show.
silence.
I'm being quiet. I'm being patient.
We like to dump on Lily a lot in this show, so.
So, like you said, battles. That's not necessarily a battle, but it definitely could be much better and not overpowered in that sense.
That's exactly what I had in mind. I really wanted to just throw some heroics out there and things that are maybe contested or widely regarded as bad heroics, and just sort of brainstorm a little bit how we can fix them, what we can do to make them chosen more often. Because right now, there's a lot of them where it's just like, there's no brainer, you have to take this one. So you know
have
what?
a great, really bad ult to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
Kevin,
Go ahead.
why don't we talk about Emerald Wind?
Yes. This is actually
Emerald
very commonly debated.
This is actually a really good. This is actually a really good point, and I think Emerald Wind.
Jake, I love you.
You're just
I think
sighing.
Emerald Wind is a less preferred heroic ability because you have to put your character in the direct line of danger, much like Falstad. Now, I think the only reason that I would ever pick Emerald Wind, and when I've accidentally picked it because I meant to click Blink Kill but I didn't, I found out that it was really good at escaping. Like, if you're ever caught in a situation you need to escape, that's great. And, you know, that's nice when you're solo queuing, that's nice when you don't have confidence in your team. However, when you're in a team, like, pre-made setting, format, etc., and fights aren't going your way, Emerald Wind is not going to save you.
Well, Blink Kill will definitely play, like, almost exponentially more of an impact than Emerald Wind in that situation. And in a lot of situations. There are very few situations where Emerald Wind is like, oh, thank you, Emerald Wind.
So, there's a lot of cool things you can do with Emerald Wind.
Let's hear 'em, Jake.
Hold on, straight aside here. Jake is a very strong proponent for the Emerald Wind. He refuses to play.
I think that Blink Heal is better. And I get Blink Heal most of the time. But I think Emerald Wind is one of the few exceptions where, see, a lot of heroes in the game have one really good heroic and one heroic you just don't get. And the two that we've talked about so far, Aerial Blitzkrieg is actually very viable. And so is Emerald Wind, in my opinion. So there's some cool stuff you can do with it. A lot of wombo combo strats. Like, it's just kind of like nice because you can actually use Emerald Wind to push people into Zeratul ult. I've brought this up before, but it's actually it's actually really good because Emerald Wind pushes. So if you don't know what the ability is like, it actually pushes everything away for about a second. And everything that's being pushed cannot move. They can't cast. They can't do anything in that time period. And it does about 400 base damage, I believe. Might be 440. But ultimately, it's really good for setups. It's really good for disengaging. And the thing, Brightwing's Z ability, she actually teleports. She actually teleports onto any hero on your team that you decide you want to teleport on. So you can actually teleport in on a tank, shield yourself if you get shield ally. You shield yourself to be safe because it actually, you know, gives her a lot of extra shield. And you can Emerald Wind to completely, you know, disperse their team and pick people off. So if you wanna, if their carries like pushed forward a little bit, like a Zeratul or whatever, you can just go in on the tank, completely separate their team, and pick off one or two of their members. And I've made some really, really sick plays doing so. I know I need to like prove this. I need to make this combo video, and I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to probably do some of that tonight. But it has a ton of potential, but it's really risky. So that's why you have to get shield ally. It's a very build dependent kind of move. You can't just pick it up and you know, succeed with it. So I don't know. I think Blink Heal is the safer bet, but Emerald Wind is actually quite good in my opinion.
Okay, you bring up a really good point, and I think I would use Emerald Wind as well as Shield Ally a lot sooner and a lot more often if you could alt-click. You know how alt you can cast something on yourself if it's targetable of allies?
Self-cast.
If you could self-cast Shield Ally, and I could, you know, you can do it with E, but it's not as much of a shield that I would like Shield Ally. And do Emerald Wind, I would do that all the time. I think that would be pretty great. Not all the time, but more often than I do now. I think, you know, you bring up a good point. There are a lot of situations you could use it in. And that was my initial thinking with Emerald Wind as well, is you could just jump in on tank and disperse the whole entire team. But the problem is that as soon as you disperse their entire team, they're all now going to have two targets. One of them's a tank, which nobody wants to target, and the other one's going to be you.
Depends on how you position it. It's a very hard thing to follow.
It's true.
Like,
you
need to make sure that you're pushing their tank away so we can't peel, and you're pushing any other character on their team towards you, whether as long as it's not Uther, because you're not going to kill Uther. But no, it's not an easy thing to execute. It's definitely a risk for reward kind of situation. But I don't know. I've made some stupid plays with it, and you can, like you said, it's the best disengage in the game. Period.
It is. It's
like,
a great disengage.
Period. Like, in any situation. So it's actually, like, if you're playing on Cursed Hollow and you're trying to defend a tribute and you need that extra second, you just cast Emerald Wind, and guess what? You have it. Yeah, characters like Tychus can drop the drill and block a path and stuff like that. And there are other things in Tassadar's Force Field, and there are things that are similar, but it's got a lot of uses. Blink Heal, again, very good. It's just pure heal. It's just pure heal, and it's good for Brightwing to stay alive because you can get out of any situation. You can just Blink Heal onto allies and be fine. So for the average situation, especially if you're playing in a pub game, you're gonna want to get Blink Heal. I would say that's true 90% of the time, but in a well-coordinated game, Emerald Wind can be really good.
Now, question. Okay. Do you think an ultimate or heroic, excuse me, is categorized as bad if it is much worse than the other option? Because the way I look at it, Blink Heal is so much better than Emerald Wind that maybe Emerald Wind is potentially a solid choice, but Blink Heal to me is so much better that I just don't see a reason that I would ever legitly want to take Emerald Wind. Unless, like, I was running Malfurion Brightwing, where I don't need Blink Heal, or something like that.
You have to look at situations, you have to look at team compositions, you have to look at, like...
Well, I'm just talking, like, in general. If one's so much better, do you consider the other bad?
I guess not, no. Based on this logic, no.
Kev? Corey?
Yeah. I think I would. if there's like a heroic where you take it 95+% of the time, then the other one, yeah, it's bad.
Like,
I don't know what else do you want to call it.
Hold on. So you're comparing it to one other heroic. I would compare it to every other heroic. In which case, you can't
just ignore the rest of the kit for the character. It's like how it fits in with that character.
I'm saying everybody else is heroic. I wouldn't consider something bad. I would just say something is less preferable. And that I mean that because something like Rainer's Raiders is not a bad heroic.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Just Hyperion is so much better.
Hyperion is kind of a broken heroic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
so when you compare the two,
Hyperion will always win a match because some people will cast it like over a fort and be like, it's a 5v5 match. I'm going to cast this over a fort and this is going to do something. No, it's going to just target the fort. But in situations where it's just you can cast a Hyperion and you have 5 people in front of you, Hyperion's overpowered. But Rainer's Raiders would always be good in those situations where you are fighting under forts, right? So I would say that Rainer's Raiders is not a bad heroic. Hyperion is just overpowered.
Okay. I can agree with that logic.
When you compare the two.
Yes, when you compare the two, one is bad and one is good.
Okay,
that's
how I'm looking at it.
Relative to one other ult, I would consider, heroic.
It's just too.
It's going to be a champion thing again.
Yeah, you haven't said champion in a long time. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Anyway, I think if I were to think of a couple of heroics that were lackluster, hold on, I just actually have.
Well, I have a great heroic that's really bad. That's the worst in the game, in my opinion.
Okay, let's go.
Let's talk about Ultralisk.
Yeah,
that's one of the ones I have listed.
That's going to be my.
I forget it exists. It's so bad.
Tier S bad heroic.
So it needs to be faster. Just bottom line.
Let's jump into it. What would make it better? Faster? What if you could micro it?
Yeah, that's another.
Micro with like Rainer's Raiders, with Ultralisk, with any summon.
Rainer's Raiders with micro that could just fly over lanes. No.
Like any summonable, we've talked about Rexar, how he's going to have Misha. Like there's no way
he better
Rexar in game without Misha. That's not going to happen. If you can't control your summons, like Gargantuan with Witchdoctor, like someone points out.
I see that. Yeah, that was going to be the next one I was bringing up.
They are useless. I'm sorry, that's just a terrible heroic. Maybe Ultralisk technically is scaling properly, but because you can't control it, it's just. I mean, even if you control it, I would still think it'd be probably not very good. But
it is, however, hilarious when there is a situation where everybody's running from a fight, and there's just this one Ultralisk that's just.
Killing him.
I am gonna get this Tyrant. There's nothing that's gonna possibly stop this.
What if it did a short burst stun after every hit.
If it did like burrow charge, like how they
Or
were
that too.
doing Heart of the Swarm, I think that would be pretty cool. Like a short little automated burrow charge that does
I would
stun.
like a knockback.
What if you could even control that by pressing R again and clicking on the target, and your ultra would burrow charge instead of full micro? Instead of full micro, like just like a command stun.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
Ultra's got all. It'd be an amazing heroic, but instead
what we're here to discuss.
Which is you get into the middle of a team, you have an infinite shield, and you kill everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty good too, I guess.
Doesn't need like control of the hero. That's just one activatable. That'd be great.
It'd be more like the laser drill. It's just the ultras running around, and then you can just make it command charge a target, and it gives it like a half-second stun or whatever.
Like just a little small, just like he does a slash, knocks people back or something.
Yeah,
that's
anything like that. That'd be great.
Short knockback. I don't know.
I
Like
make it a lot better. That's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, I got heroics for days here. I got them for days, so I don't know how long you guys want to talk about this. So
well, let's do like the top 5 worst heroics. Top 5 worst. Top 5 worst.
Top 5 worst.
Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead.
I mean, I got Ultralisk up there.
Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, Jake, that's good.
Starfall.
I had that one on there.
Starfall is really bad. No, Starfall is just bad.
I wouldn't call it bad.
I would never get it over Shadowstalk. Like, never. In any situation.
Well, again, we've already had that discussion, though. Rainer's Raider is not bad. It's
right.
just...
No, I don't know. Just the damage output for your heroic is really, really abysmal on that ability.
It is great for, like, take Dragonshire, for instance. You're pushing top lane, and you're on that bridge, top lane. That ult's great there.
Yeah.
It will force the enemy team off that bridge every single time, or they will take a lot of damage, and you can collapse on them. I don't think it's not great. It's not a good ult, but it's not. I wouldn't call it top 5 worst in my opinion.
Chat seems to disagree. They seem to like Starfall.
Man, I dislike Starfall.
I kind of like Starfall. I don't think it's as strong. If you have a pre-made team, I would go Shadowstalk.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you're in a team that you're not so sure, I mean, you have to think about this game in terms of solo queue, playing with one other person, and then ranked. Yeah. And because this is going to be right now, that's where we're at. First off, we can't even play like custom games of 5v5, so let's you can't even consider what the heck is the best there. That's why I'm not. But sorry, continue. What are the other 4 bad heroics?
I mean, Ultralisk is up there.
Yeah, Stage Dive. How do you guys feel about Stage Dive?
I think I like Stage Dive still. It's just actually I liked it better than
Mosh Pit.
Yeah.
You like the global ult better than the AoE stun. Yeah. Stop.
He's like, think about this.
I mean, so I main Diablo. I don't use Shadow Charge until I see an ETC. If he has Mosh Pit and I see an ETC, I'm not going to do any Shadow Charging until I see him.
Your best character counters his.
Kev.
Doesn't mean it's a bad ult, Kev.
Bad to me. Just saying, bro.
I know.
Come at me.
Stun on Mosh Pit. He's done. That's it.
We can all agree on this heroic.
Can we get a disclaimer on screen? Yes, the dragon. But can we get a disclaimer on screen that the rest of the Heroes community, including the show host, do not agree with Kevin and his opinions?
It's an easily counterable ult. That's all I say.
Only if you have like a Diablo, a Tychus, or a Brightwing.
Yeah, only if you have half the heroes in the game that have a stun.
More than 6 heroes, sir. Let's talk about Water Dragon. That is the dumbest, worst designed, horribly thought up ultimate.
I knew we'd get some good discussion on this.
Hold on.
There's just so much material here.
Just said they're gonna fix it.
Oh, it looks like my Skype is crapping itself. Hold on.
I still hear you.
Oh, it fixed itself. Yes.
Did the stream die, or was it just Skype, or was the stream too?
I think it's just Soya, actually.
I think we're good.
Oh, was that the one that dropped?
Maybe.
I got your again.
Blizzard said they're gonna fix it, and that's all I have to say about it. I'm withholding judgment on Lily until Blizzard fixes everything, because we all know how I feel.
Was last week.
Episode 12 in the last 20 minutes, if you want to know how I feel about it. But I'm not going to say anything more about her until Blizzard releases whatever fixes that they have in store.
Did you catch any flack for those comments, Kev?
I have. In a game. Yeah, alright, you're probably. To game. I was grouped with Idra, and I get into a game, and this guy says, "Hey Sham2," and I'm like, wow. This guy just said, "Hey Sham2," over saying, "Hey" to Idra. And then his next line was, "I main Lily."
That's too funny. Too funny.
And I was like,
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do. You're like, oh, good. Here it
Tam's
comes.
in chat.
It's onslaught.
You can ask Jake. You can ask Jake here. Tamsin in chat. We were talking earlier about making the sub emotes, and one of them was Kevin with like a Lily stat photoshopped onto it. Like we have plans for Shampoo and Lily.
See, initially Jared said Shampoo with Lily ears. I'm like, yo, that's weird. Let's give him a Lily staff. It's a little less weird.
Yeah, I like
Or
that.
just like the emote would be like Shampoo, and it's just
Shampoo Hearts Lily or something. Anyway,
Lily isn't bad. I agree that Lily isn't bad.
Lily's not bad.
We just don't
Shampoo's
think
just
don't think she's fun. Shampoo thinks she's bad, but the rest of the show, the rest of the
Give her a
show,
chance. We all give her a chance.
we think she's actually very good. The amount of sustain that she has, the consistent healing, and the mana regen she gives is really good. But we talked about her a lot last week, so if you want to hear her Lily discussion, check out the VOD on YouTube. But we're not going to jump into her right now. Solid Jake GG, actually.
So
But
is there any other before we go to a break, guys? Is there any other ultimates that just stick out in your mind that are just bad? Not like worse than the other heroic option, just like a bad ultimate that needs to be redesigned that you will never ever take ever. Let's talk about,
I have two real quick. I have Illidan's Hunt and Witch Doctor's Gargantuan. And BFG. Wow, BFG.
BFG.
I want to talk about something real quick. Let's like spend like 2-3 minutes on it. Robotnik.
Oh God, no! That has got to be the worst. That has got to be right.
I've never
It's got to
used.
be.
Yo,
I've
I've never seen anyone run it.
I solo Grave Golems for days with that.
I feel like Jared's about to drop some real knowledge on us. Go ahead.
No, I have tried for like 20 games straight, just a pure Robotnik jungle farming and lane pushing build, and I don't like it.
So
it's just you have no presence in a team fight at all.
Yeah.
You are literally you versus the world. Like you have to backdoor, you have to be smart. Like maybe a mechanically skilled, a great team with communication, being able to call out MIAs and stuff. Maybe a Robotnik jungle / backdoor strat could potentially work, but in the I don't know. Even then, the other ultimate is 10 times better, in my opinion.
The only situation I've ever had gotten good use out of Robotnik was actually on Blackheart's Bay, and I just went
because I just always called it.
Yeah.
Robo Goblin, but
I would just call it Robotnik.
Sonic.
It's Robot. But on Blackheart's Bay, I had like 40+ coins turned into that game, and a couple pushes that with Knights and Grave Golem, because you're able to solo Grave Golem, and when your team's in the bottom lane and the whole enemy team's there, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna go for the Grave Golem by myself. The push actually ended up helping out, and we actually won the game with it. But I don't think with a full, if the enemy team was better, it definitely wouldn't have worked out. So I don't know. I definitely think it's one of the bottom heroics in the game.
I'd say it's the worst. I'll say it. It's the worst. Yeah, it's the worst.
Wow.
I think it's not been played with enough to be considered the worst
I can agree
right now.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
sorry.
pretty bad. It's definitely bottom tier. So guys, we're gonna go quick commercial break. Hit that follow button if you want to watch more Town Hall every week on Tuesday. You can check out VODs for previous episodes at youtube.com/solidjakegg. As well as you really want to support the show, hit that subscribe button. You don't really get too many features right now, but within a week you'll get plenty of them. So guys, we're going to go to a quick 2.5-minute commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk about Muradin, we're going to talk about Tychus, and what other Heroes of the Storm stuff we want to talk about. Stay tuned. We love you all. Hi guys, and welcome back to Town Hall episode 13. If you guys missed the discussion just now tuning in, make sure you tune into the VOD. It'll be up shortly after the show ends over at youtube.com/solidjakegg. Let's go on to our next topic, guys. What is almost definitively throughout the entire Heroes community the worst hero in game right now? Muradin.
Pretty bold statement.
Oh my god.
I'd
love to argue with you.
Do you disagree?
Not enough to argue.
I disagree. I honestly disagree after playing him a good amount. And I play him... who's worse? I honestly am starting to think Gazlo.
Gazlo's pretty bad now after the movement speed buff.
Gazlo and Witch Doctor, I think, are in a really bad spot. A lot of their stuff was movement-based.
I love Gazlo.
And I think...
I disagree with that so very much. I think Gazlo is fantastic.
Well, let's talk about this after we've discussed Muradin. We can go into theory.
Way to drop this super controversial topic.
I mean, I'm a tank hero. I'm a tank hero guy. So I really actually like.
True.
At first I was like Muradin, but now I'm like Muradin.
The first thing I want to say about
just like that, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
like that. The first thing I want to say about Muradin is his kit is really fun. Just everything about his talents, the way he's played, he is fun. I just feel that his numbers need to be tweaked. He's a very fun hero. Like his leaps, all of his both of his ultimates can add a lot to, or just add a lot of fun to the game. But he just does not. He's not as impactful as any other initiating tank in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I will disagree.
Yeah, no, really,
I will disagree. All right, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be really difficult to sell. Arthas and a couple others, yes, they have a lot of CC. They're really good. The thing that I really like about Muradin is that he can literally be in the middle of the fight from the beginning to the end. How I build him.
Which is
what was the original statement? What was the statement? He's less impactful as a tank.
Less impactful.
I would say Tyrael is probably.
Oh, okay.
Definitely
Okay,
Tyrael.
I forgot about Tyrael. Like he's so out there that I don't even remember him. We'll talk about Tyrael later.
But for Muradin, I really like him. I build him incredibly tanky, his Q is a decent stun. His W is a really good slow. He's a tenacity procer basically. Like you can or not tenacity, sorry, executioner procer. You can have everybody have executioner on your team, and you will just melt everybody because Muradin's just got such a wide range of slows and stuns and displacements.
Yeah, but there are other heroes that do that just as well too, if not better.
But they can't be in the middle of the fight for the entire time. Like
that is true.
He can. I mean, so the way that I build him is I synergize everything with stone.
Well, actually, stop real quick. Go ahead and explain Muradin and his abilities, Kev.
Okay.
Just for people who don't know Muradin, explain his abilities, his heroics, and stuff.
So already his trait which is his passive. After 6 seconds, he regenerates 1% of his health every second. After 6 seconds of not taking any damage, not out of combat, not taking any damage. If he's below 30% of his health, it increases to 3% of his health every second.
Which is very noticeable.
That's really
when he's low
really
health,
good.
you see it.
Funny enough is you actually see the numbers tick at that point until it hits 30%, and then it just goes. It kind of is very subtle. That's awesome for laning. It's awesome for pretty much anything. Like you jump out of a fight, you're back up to like 30% in a couple of seconds. You jump back in. But the thing is that he doesn't actually need to even stay out of fight for too long if you go for stuff later on. But anyway, his Q, which is called Stormhammer, is a ranged skill shot. It hits somebody, does damage, stuns them for 1.5 seconds. His W is Thunderclap. He slams the ground around him, does an AoE, slows everybody for 25% for 2.5 seconds.
It's a long time, yeah.
And does 58 damage at level 1, so that's it's equal to what his level 1 auto attack damage is. And then the last one is Dwarf Tosses, which is he just throws himself at a target location, deals AoE damage, kind of low. I use it a lot as an escape. Actually, I used it before. I was running around on Blackheart and was able to jump over a canal and dodge all of Idra's team. So yeah, it wasn't a premium contest. It was on the opposite team. But anyway.
Oh, is that the game you guys were talking about earlier in chat?
Yeah. So
of course. Yeah.
he's got a lot of CC, which is crowd control, which is stun slows, etc. And then his 2 heroics. One of them is Avatar gains health, and his weapon stuns enemies for 0.5 seconds, I think, every time you auto-attack somebody.
0.25. I think it's shorter than that. It's
0.25?
not a long stun.
And then the last one is Haymaker, which is basically a dragon kick and kicks... punch, dragon punch. It's a dragon kick, but he punches somebody and knocks them away and does damage to them.
That's so fun.
Yep.
And anybody you hit, it makes a hilarious noise of bowling pins knocking over and does an extra 50 damage. Scaling +3 per level. So, those are his abilities.
Now, the way I like when people look at Heroes of the Storm, the main problem for newer players is they look at these classifications: warrior, assassin, specialist, and support. But those are very vague and, based off just like warrior itself, sometimes just wrong for a description of a hero. If you compare every single warrior to each other, some of them sometimes are just completely different. Now, if you look at Diablo and ETC, they are really great at initiating, they are great at peeling, and they have solid survivability. If you take a look at a warrior or a warrior like Arthas, he is not nearly as tanky as an ETC or a Diablo, but he's got a lot more initiation and lockdown like a Kerrigan would. He's not as good as initiation and lockdown as Kerrigan. He's not as good as tankiness as ETC and Diablo. He's somewhere in between, which, when you know how to play that, makes him good. If you look at Stitches, he's great at initiating, and he's got a lot of lockdowns and slows that helps his team. The problem I have with Muradin is, yes, he's got good survivability. He's got the lockdown and stuff, but it's not good enough to where he excels at any of these. Like, I don't look at Muradin and go, he's great because of this. He does not have the initiation and the just like peeling that a Diablo or an ETC does. He does not have the lockdown that an Arthas does. He might maybe if you build him the way you do, be tankier than some of these heroes, but he doesn't have the follow-up that makes him more impactful than any of these warriors. That is the problem I have with Muradin.
Okay, so how I play... No, I'm thinking of my thoughts in my head and kind of putting them into a category. How I play Muradin is I put him in the middle of the team, and I don't focus, I don't peel, I don't focus on what normally I do as a tank, which is when I'm playing Diablo, I am protecting my damage characters. I'm making sure that they're not going to get hurt. I am overpowering people and then pushing them away with Shadow Charge. And yes, his heroics are less impactful than pretty much everybody else's heroics. I'll completely agree with that. I think
Two warriors in the warrior tree.
Yeah, I think his heroic Haymaker needs a significant buff in cooldown only. And I think Avatar needs to do a 0.5 second stun per hit. And I think that would actually be pretty decent. Because 0.25, this is why I stopped getting Skullcracker at level 1 talent. It's just nothing. It doesn't do anything. It's like I stopped for a second. I'm
going to start playing with the mana regen one more, because the way you've described it, it does seem... Because Muradin is very mana heavy, for those of you who haven't played it.
He's incredibly mana heavy. Anyway, so, the thing is that what I do is, and I've only played about 15 games with him, but I've been pretty successful. I don't think I've actually lost a game as Muradin, except for maybe 1 or 2. I might be wrong on that. Anyway, I jump in, and I immediately go for their damage characters. Because he actually has a ridiculous amount of health. Once you get Stone Form, he's got a ridiculous amount of regen. That's like 60% of your health back. And you can stun and slam them, and they will not get away from you. He's got a ridiculous amount of ability to stay on somebody. If you stagger out his abilities, you get the stun in with his Q, you run in, you're hitting them, you hit them once, you hit them twice, and then they're starting to get away, you W. And now they're slowed for 2.5 seconds. By the time that's done, you have another Q up again, almost. You could also Q and then kick him back with Haymaker, or punch him back. He's got a lot of stuff. I really kind of like him. Yes, he definitely needs a couple of numbers changed. He does not need a kit renewal. I think his talents are fine. I think he just needs a couple of numbers and cooldowns changed. Yeah. I think his cooldowns just need to be changed a little bit, and I think he'd be great. I think his trait needs to be at 4 seconds, and I think that's about it.
We were talking with Squishy earlier in our little chat for Heroes of the Storm, and we were discussing ways to fix Muradin. Like I said, his kit is really good. It's really strong. It just needs to be tweaked. And if you look at the Arthas change, when he got that damage buff, he's just like suddenly much better. I don't think you can do that with Muradin because of how how tanky he is, like you explained. I don't think you can increase his damage without him becoming broken. I think you've already talked about it. I think if you just tweak all of his abilities to where they had a shorter cooldown, every single one of them, I think that would be a great way to fix it. But we've actually been hogging the mic a lot. Corey, Jake, let's let you guys touch it.
No, Corey's been playing a lot more of him than I have, actually, so I want to hear Corey's
Corey's the Muradin expert in this call, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm the Muradin expert, okay. Well, yeah, I think I do have the extra skin. Kev, do you have the skin tint? First skin tint? Oh, no, he doesn't.
It's funny, because I'm already changing your build off of the 3 games that I played by the time I played with you last night.
You haven't even seen my build. You don't know what it is.
It's garbage.
He hasn't linked it in our show notes for a reason.
Yeah, no, it's because it's just so groundbreaking that. The biggest way I play, I mean, I'm gonna probably mess around with the way Kevin has built him in the future, but the way I tend to take the stun on his 16 leap, and I think that sets up for haymakers, and I sort of play him like a weird Stitches where it's like, okay, we want that guy. Can you get him to our team right now? So it's like you're leaping over, stunning them, and then lining up that haymaker, boom, knock him back into the team. You have enough survivability as a tank to usually get out of that situation. You stun people who are chasing you or whatever. So that's how I play him. I don't know. Somebody who's super tanky, that's nice, but it's like, oh, wow, this is Muradin tickling me. We'll just walk around him, and I don't know. That's... but yeah, that's how I have a feeling that's how Jared plays him too. But
that's the exact way I play him. And funny, Trickslayer said something funny in chat earlier today. He plays him almost the exact same way. The main problem with Haymaker is it's long cooldown, and he said that the cool thing about Haymaker is it's always up again after you respawn. Basically, because when you play this way, you're not tanky at all. You go in, you initiate, you die. But as soon as you're up, you have Haymaker. It would be cool if it was like a 20-25 second cooldown to where you could use it multiple times in a fight. It doesn't do extreme damage. The push at level 20 is much further, but pre-20, it's not super like overpowered. I think like just a reduced cooldown on Haymaker, and it would be a much better ultimate.
What was the recent patch change they had for this? Was it a reduction in cooldown?
I think it was. I think it went from like a minute 10 to 55 seconds.
Oh, jeez. Can't even think about that. Okay, so it went from really, really terrible to slightly usable. Now they need to keep going with that. I agree.
What's the magic number? 30 seconds?
I think like 20
seconds would be
20 to 30.
20 to 30 seconds would be good.
Yeah.
I think if I had to really put it down, though, I know that there's that stun on jump and AoE stun. It's pretty cool. But the thing is that if you land your Q, you don't need it. And if you're jumping in to try and haymaker somebody out, like back towards your team, you are now in the middle of their enemy team most of the time. Sometimes, if this is an engagement. If this is not an engagement, you're just chasing somebody down, you get your Q on them, you jump in you jump in front of them, the haymaker and back. I can see that. I can understand that. But I'm thinking, in terms of a team fight, if I'm going to be jumping in, I want to make sure I'm going to be getting back out. That's why I go for stone form on that talent. So can we go over talents?
Yeah.
People have no idea what we're talking about. So
yeah, exactly.
So level 1. Corey,
level 1.
How do you build?
Probably very controversial. I take the damage buff. Only because it's really fun. Only because it's my... Now, I want to see it. I don't know if the stream has a better record than me. 185 damage is my buff. My buff record.
Added 185 damage.
185 damage.
Wow.
That's my record. Anybody in stream, I want to see. I want to see if anyone's gotten higher than that. Because you can hit them twice. You can hit 2 people with the next talent that we go through. So if you're actually good at lining it up, you can double up the damage on it.
So all you people that say Muradin is bad, Corey just blew your mind. Like the chat was like, Muradin's so bad. Rah, rah, rah.
It's just Stormhammer's damage though, right? It's not like auto attacks or anything.
It's just hitting somebody with Stormhammer. Yeah, it has to be a hero. Yeah.
That's still. I'm curious.
It's still better than I thought, but I'll have to play. I don't think it's
185 is pretty hard to do. That's. I mean, I had to really be focusing on it the whole game. But as the game develops, I mean, maybe that will be the way to go. I'm not sure, but what do you guys take?
Maybe if it was like 10 damage, I would go for it because you can't rely on the fact. Remember, this is 185 after I would assume a long game, and you
no, actually, it wasn't that
focusing
long.
on doing that.
It wasn't that long. It was like an average length game, but I was focusing on doing that specifically. I was like, all right, what's the highest I can get this to?
But that's cool. I mean, that's a cool thing to have in a hero.
So when I first started playing Muradin, I went for Path of the Warrior because I was speccing everything up till level 16 talent, but because that's all percentage of health, his trait, his everything is percentage of health for his trait. So I was thinking Path of the Warrior, you know, more health, more percentage.
Yep.
But after realizing very quickly that he's an incredibly mana-heavy hero, I've been going for Infused Hammer, which refunds 38 mana on for each enemy hit with his Q, which means later on at level 7, there's an ability that you can get. You can hit 2 people with it, and for each hit you get 38 mana back. The ability costs 35 mana, so you get back 1 mana for casting Q every time. So it's a free cost. It's your spell you use the most, and it's also I think the most costly mana wise. So
yeah,
I found out how to fix his mana problem. Don't have to worry about your Q mana.
I guess we're all unique tier 1 because I always have taken Stormbreaker or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear your explanation for that.
Skullcracker?
Skullcracker. I don't know why I said Stormbreaker.
All right, so tell me what it does.
I mean,
I'm curious.
Every 4th auto attack stuns for 0.25 seconds. I mean, his kits kind of feels like the way I build them. You get the stun on the leap. You get the double stun with the Q. I know. His kit to me just kind of felt really stunning. I never actually played around with the other ones. I know a lot of the people I play with took the same one. But after hearing your arguments, maybe it's not near as good. I mean, I just always assumed the other ones were like... I never realized how strong the mana regen was or how impactful that extra damage was. So, I mean, I probably won't be taking it anymore after I play around with the other ones. But, I mean, he always just felt stunny to me. And
really think about how long it takes for you to get 4 auto attacks on one hero.
Can you pre-charge that?
No.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
That's lame.
What do you mean pre-charge?
I thought it was like Annie's, like, kind of...
Every 4th attack...
No.
Same
it's
target.
4th attack on the same target. Will stun them for 0.25
well, I'm just
seconds.
bad at Muradin, guys. Sorry, I did not...
I played with him for 1 game, and I was like, all right, 1 auto attack. 2 auto attack.
His attack's not that slow.
3 auto attack.
4th
It really is. It's that slow.
That's insane.
Auto attack, and it's a 0.25 stun. It's like, and then you're done. It's like it's nothing.
Even Manticore on Demon Hunter, which that's every 3rd attack does additional damage, and even that is like really not good. Not good.
You think Manticore is bad?
I don't know.
Manticore is kind of...
Oh my gosh, Jake, let's keep a talk on Murden so I can make...
I was gonna say.
I don't know.
You can have a Manticore build, and that's where Manticore actually becomes... If you stay away from Manticore, whatever. Anyway,
you guys sold Q a lot. Sorry.
Not that great. 4 attacks on the same target, 0.25 seconds stun. If it was like a second
I take it back.
stun...
Skullbreaker sucks. Let's move on.
You can see
so level 4, your 2nd tier talent. What is your pick there, Corey?
I usually take landing momentum.
Same here.
Yeah, it's just increases the overall mobility. The other ones didn't really strike me as particularly amazing. I can understand why you take what you do, given the rest of your build, but the other ones...
We have completely different play styles from Kevin's style, so we're going to have very different builds.
Yeah, I'm Amplified Healing. I do that because if you go Amplified Healing, and then everything else later on, as well as you want to stay in the middle, but it also affects your trait as well. When you're out of combat, your Amplified Healing will now heal you 30% extra. Which, for every tick every second, it's 1.3% of health instead of just 1% of your health. So it's a lot of... pretty nice, you know? So, Amplified Healing. Landing momentum, I never really had a huge problem staying on targets.
I mean, it's just a little extra mobility. Like we have a very aggro initiation type style. Yours is more of like a get in there and get stuff done. So I can, and tank here. I mean, I don't think one's relatively better than the other. It's just based off how you play them.
Thunderburn, I did play around with a little bit, and that's actually pretty cool because if you hit somebody, it explodes and does another slow for 2 seconds. And if you hit somebody, stun them, and then you the aftershock of stun of that will hit them again. And you've basically made like this ridiculous freaking stun cycle.
Wait, does the stun proc off of them? Like, does it explode from them or from where you casted it originally?
It's your slam, and then there's a circle that goes around you.
Okay.
And then it pops again after like 0.5 seconds, which
that's really cool.
hit a lot. Actually.
I could see it being good for sure, but I just preferred the extra leap mobility.
Again, if you're going for like a heavy executioner build, like you've got a Tycho, you've got a
Rainer.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on.
Yep.
Anyway, yes. Level 7.
I think we probably all take the same one
on this one.
Yes.
Stormbolt.
Double hitting hammers. Very good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a no-brainer.
Stormbolt.
He already has so much mana problems, you can't take searing attacks. So if you let sides, he's not a damage dealer.
And he's not even really autoing that many people anyway, so it's like...
Yeah.
He has decently low cooldowns, so battle moment, like, his abilities aren't, like, super-duper impactful to where you would want, like... I mean, sorry, Stormbolt's just sorry. Like, you can make arguments for a few of them, but Stormbolt's just better. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. 10 damage per swing?
You're heroic. What do you guys think about the heroics?
Oh, give me the punch.
Overall, probably Avatar is better, just like overall. But Haymaker's just so much fun. Sorry, Haymaker.
What do you mean overall better?
We don't talk about overalls. Let's talk about Haymaker.
It is
overall
so
better.
Back
that
then,
up first.
4 out of 5 Haymakers they do nothing. They're just like, haha, Haymaker!
Oh, man.
No.
This guy hasn't played with the Corey and Kev yet.
Yeah, seriously. No, you can land some sick haymakers. I don't know why you're saying that.
Like some sick Haymakers.
Not
usually
people through lanes and stuff? Like, come on. Like, it's so good.
You can do like the Stitch's Gorge through the wall thing. Like
it's unimpeded displacement. Like it doesn't matter if they hit if they hit walls of the level, walls of the environment, they'll stop. But if they hit like a gate, they'll go through the gate.
Yeah.
So if they're fighting like against your keep and they haven't taken down that gate yet, guess what? You haymaker them on the other side, they're stuck there. It's like Diablo's overpower. So it's pretty freaking nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear you think that the Avatar is better.
Really good. Haymaker
I take Haymaker every time.
Really, really good.
It just needs a ridiculous cooldown reduction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if it's too long, the ability itself is really good, but the cooldown makes it not as good as it could be. I think 30 seconds would be a nice sweet spot. 25 seconds, fine. 20 seconds might be too little. Like, what's the cooldown on Hook?
On Hook, like Stitch's Hook?
12?
Yeah. 12?
Yeah.
Seconds?
Actually, I thought it was 8 for some reason.
It's not.
I'll take.
It's over.
Yeah, no.
It's probably 12 or 16, but I think 25 seconds would be a good place for it.
Yes, I agree completely. 25 seconds and Haymaker will be just...
It's 14, sorry.
14 seconds. Yeah, it'd be really good. I mean, I think he's actually a pretty solid character overall, but...
He's got a good kit. He just needs number tweaks.
Yeah,
he's got a fun kit, like I said 100 times, but he's just not, as compared to other warriors, I think he's the worst warrior.
Really? Between him and Tyrael, you still say he's the worst?
Okay, I keep forgetting Tyrael, like, he's like that. He's not even in the game to me, sorry.
Alright. So we all pick Haymaker. We all are in agreement that Haymaker needs a cooldown. Everybody say aye, and Blizzard will make the change. Squish it, please.
Let's do it. Do it.
So let's go to level 13. Corey.
Yeah, I need that range. Give me that range and the toss. I mean the jump.
I'm with Corey on this one.
Give me that range.
Range and impact, I go for that now. I was going for the shield just because I was going super tanky, but now I go for the range because it's also a great escape method as well.
Yeah, the range is huge.
So dwarf launch across the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Now, my question for Kev is: you're talking about landing the heroic based on your Stormhammer. Is that what it's called? I'm forgetting the names. Yeah, Stormhammer. Okay. Yep. Is the range of the leap before it's upgraded enough to land behind them?
Yes.
So why do you take this? Over what
he
is?
Said he likes it to get out of stuff. Like it's.
I just like it to get out of stuff.
Yeah, I know, but it just seems like it's.
I mean,
all right.
I really just use it as an escape for a lot of because I mean he doesn't really have a great escape. That's why I'm just like sometimes you do bite a little bit or you bite more than you can chew with Muradin. There we go. There's the phrase.
Good job, Kev.
Yay.
What about spell shield? I mean, you're going the tanky route. Why not spell shield?
Because you still, I mean, the spell shield does only so much, whereas escaping from a fight that you can't win is a little bit more than taking just a little bit less damage. I like it a lot more. I like it. I'm sorry.
Okay. No. I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Okay. That's fine.
All right, 16.
Level 16.
Let's talk about this.
Take
I
the
think the
stun
stun,
too.
just like I said, I love I just always felt like he was built around stuns and stuff, and I mean, initiating with is better. I can see the argument for stun form. The rest of them, no, though. I don't see the argument for him.
Yeah.
Stun
I
form.
take the stun. I take the stun because I need to land that combo, and I think that is what allows me to land the combo. Now, Kev will say
Now I
you
picked
should be
stone
hitting him with
form
the hammer.
because I actually land my hammers and don't have to rely on a massive AoE stun.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? There's a lot of problems with that. There's a lot of problems with that.
With a
One,
game
they
that
could be
has-
further away. They could be further away than the furthest reach of your stone hammer. Okay. The second problem is it doesn't pierce unless I mean you can get the two hits going through. But like, what if you need to get to that person in the back, which they likely are? The target needs to be is probably the guy in the back.
And we all get Dwarf launch, so we can get to that guy in the back with the leap stun. Plus, this stun hits everybody, not just one person. And I mean, stun. There are no diminishing returns on stuns in this game, so you can just stun, and it will last the exact same as it says, no matter what.
Yeah,
Rebuttal,
but at the same time, I'd rather get 55% of my health back over 8 seconds, and I don't even have to channel it or anything. It's
very nice. I will.
You're starting to die, and you just say, I don't want to die, and you hit D, and then you don't die. It's pretty much exactly that. He can take so much damage. That's all you need. And if they ignore you, if they don't ignore you, there you go. Now you can get in and get back out. If they do ignore you, now you can just walk through the back of their line. Once they realize he's taking out our damage, or he's going to haymaker our damage back into their team, and they start focusing you, you're like, I'm not gonna die. Not today.
Yeah, but he hits people with a rubber hammer. They don't care about that. It's just like, it's not good. Not good damage. So they're just gonna be like, oh, okay. He needs. I think the only thing that makes him viable is the displacement.
When you're disrupting as much as you do as Muradin, you're gonna attract a lot of attention. And I think the stone form is perfectly worth it. It's a ridiculous.
I can see the argument for both, but it's more of a playstyle thing.
It's playstyle, and I like.
And that's good. That's just want to point it out. That's amazing. Like, you can definitely build him.
Thanks for joining the Muradin conversation.
I'll be honest. I'm a fraud, and we're gonna do something right now. He's
got no games credit. He's gonna look at his
He doesn't even have it.
Oh my God, the fraud!
I'm a fraud.
Oh my God!
There we go. He's dancing.
I didn't make him happier before.
Yeah, I'm a fraud.
That production value.
Yeah, I have played I think 2 games with Muradin, so that was many weeks ago. So
okay.
Level 20 after the Ice Hots match.
Wait. Shut up. Jake, you've obviously been playing with Corey a lot as Corey's Muradin.
Yeah.
What do you think about, in terms of the team, like being on a team with Muradin? What do you see as a positive? What do you see as a negative?
I mean, a lot of times when
before doing this talk.
Huh?
Yeah, let's finish the talents.
Yeah, we should finish talents first.
We got one more talent, level 20.
After facing Icy Hots in CST's tournaments, I take Resurgence whenever I can. Haymaker, yes, the increased range is nice. The damage, I don't really care about. But as people have said, as I brought up earlier, you use Haymaker, and with my build, you're not as tanky. You usually will die in a big team fight. Resurgence is great for that. Resurgence is great for a lot of things. I take Resurgence. It might not be the popular pick, but I love that. I love
take Resurgence 90% of the time. If I'm going against a Kerrigan or an Illidan, I use improved Haymaker just so I can kick them a little bit further.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I take the improved Haymaker all the time. I think extra knockback is very considerable. I don't care about the damage, like you said. Yeah, I just want that extra knockback because I just want to do my job even better, honestly. Because that's what people look to the Muradin to do. I think is to displace that one hero, and the better I can do that.
We've talked about it a lot on the show. We think eventually Resurgence is going to have to be tweaked because we all think
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
very strong. So I can understand that, but
real good. That's
and people will forget about it too. They'll be like, "Guys, we just killed 3 of them. Let's go! Oh my God, they're all back up!"
You know, as a UI thing, I really like the dead hero thing at the top where it shows them coming back. I love that. That's one of my favorite things of the UI of the game. But that's just a little side note. So.
All
All right, Jake, go for it. Tell us why or what you feel of Muradin as they're playing with one for so long.
First of all, tell them how awesome Cooby's Muradin is, please.
Cooby's
Preach to the
Muradin
choir.
is... So, there's a lot of times I play with a certain hero, and it's just like, I feel like they're either a burden, they're not contributing, whatever. I've never felt that way about a Muradin on my team when it's been... As of the last week. As of, like, Corey... And I've played with Kev's Muradin in a few games.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
But he doesn't die a lot. He's definitely got the tankiness of a warrior, and he seems to just... Like, dude, his damage stacks. With that first talent, his Muradin hits... hard. He goes in there, he smacks people, he displaces people, and we get kills. Like, he just knocks people out of the fight. He likes to waste his ult on random knights, just knock the knights out of the knight pit. That's funny. It's not good, but it's funny, and I like it. But no, I definitely think Muradin has a crap ton of potential. I mean, granted, I'm a fraud. I just bought him right now. I would like to try him more myself, but from what I can tell, he contributes to the fights very well. Team fights, pushing lane, just he doesn't have like any like. Granted, I don't think he's gonna go jungling or anything like that, but he fulfills his role for sure.
Jared, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If they were to reduce the cooldown to, let's say, 25 seconds on Haymaker, where does that put Muradin in the potential tank tier list? In your
still above Tyrael, still at the bottom. He would need an overall to all of his abilities change. I have yet to play with a substantial, like a really strong Muradin. Like maybe I need to play with you, Corey.
All right, we'll play with.
I think your opinion could be changed.
I have yet, the people I play Muradin with, they've played 10 to 20 games with them, they understand the hero, but they've never really, sat down. Like I did with Arthas. I have a completely different opinion on Arthas because I have played over 100 games with them since the patch. Over 100. That's a lot of games. So, I don't know. I've never seen a Muradin be like, wow, thank you, Muradin, you added a lot to that team fight. Right now, I still think he's bad. He would need a lot more than, not a lot more than a Haymaker tweak, but he would need the Haymaker tweak plus a few other tweaks to put him up to par with the rest of the
Zoya,
tanks.
you need something in your life. You need more of this.
Cooby?
How did I know that was going to be what it was? Cooby's Haymaker. We should have a picture of Bruce Willis with like a pitchfork being a haymaker.
Oh my god. The puns are stacking.
The best thing I can deliver on the fly is this. And
oh god, please.
We're gonna leave it at that.
Front switch front page. Okay.
Bruce Willis, man.
Anyway.
After hearing your guys' thoughts on him, maybe after I see him in game, he'll be up there. I don't know. I'll have to play with you guys. Right now, though, I still think he needs tweaks.
Oh, he needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of work.
I think he's just not as good as Diablo. In terms of just because Diablo is my main, but also because he's awesome. He just doesn't have an ult or heroic that hits everybody, and I think that's what every other tank has, is that they have an ult that will affect absolutely everybody. Arthas has got Sindragosa that can hit everybody as well as stop towers, turrets, etc. Diablo's got Lightning Breath, which hits everybody, and they're all, and Lightning Breath, and it's got Apocalypse. Apocalypse is game-changing. And then you've got ETC, who's got either Stage Dive, which is global, slow, etc., and does damage. As
bad, really bad.
Mosh Pit.
And Stitches, of course.
That's actually
and Stitches, who's got his gross stuff that
putrid bile. So I mean, you bring up actually a really good point. He doesn't have an AoE heroic, and every other tank does, except Tyrone, and Tyrone is bad. We all agree that Tyrone is bad.
Tyrone is Tyrande.
Tyrell.
She's Tyrando.
And Tyrell does have an AoE ult.
This is true.
He does.
Yeah, it's
so welcome to Heroes of the Storm.
No,
it's not that bad.
You just don't get that ult.
It's area control.
Actually, I get that ultimate over the other one when I play them, and I prefer it. It's a good ult.
I don't know.
Making your entire team immune to damage.
Next week, Tyrande?
Next week.
Next week's Tyr.
Next week's Tyrande and Falstad.
Okay.
Tune in on Town Hall.
No, we're not done yet. We're not there. We got a whole nother hero to talk about tonight.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Let's
Oh, we're actually going to talk about them?
Oh yeah, we're not stopping.
Okay, let's go. Let's go right in. Let's do it.
Well,
Final thoughts.
Okay.
Final
That's
thoughts.
Final thoughts. He needs
Fraud alert.
tweaks.
Fraud alert. I haven't played them.
No. Murden. Final thoughts. Murden.
Final thoughts.
thoughts.
He needs tweaks. After
Yeah.
hearing you guys talk about him, he might have moved up a bit for me, but I still think he is the second worst warrior / tank in the game.
I will concur with that statement 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, no argument there.
Be great.
So just so you guys know, one thing we're going to do is we're actually going to post all of the builds that we all play the character with for the character to talk about every week. So we will post each of our Muradin builds. I don't have one, but the three of them, we will have their builds posted on we have an official thread on heroesnexus.com. So
as well as on the YouTube link, right?
Yes, it'll be on the YouTube link as well. So you can check the YouTube VOD or that for the actual builds that we each do for the character to talk about. But moving on.
Yeah, let's. We're gonna talk about Second Hero, guys. I know this is a long show, but we want to continue going. This has been a great show. Let's talk about Tychus. Tychus Finley.
Yeah.
Kevin, I've played a lot of them, but you've hands down played the most Tychus here.
I almost have his mount skin on him now too.
Yo, sick. He's fun.
Yeah, I play him a lot. He's my solo queue hero. And a lot of people will look at me and say, why? But I have a lot of answers for that. So first off, he's got a lot of great abilities. Not one of his abilities is a bad ability, and I love them all. They all have their own little. It's like my own children, you know. They all have their little quirks and whatnot, but I love them all the same. So Overkill, which is his Q, is his ability to target a area cone in front of him, allows him to move, and he will pivot around that target, doing damage to it every half a second or quarter of a second, and does a ridiculous amount of damage, and then does like 25% of that damage to everybody else in the cone. It's really awesome. It's great for chasing down people because you walk at normal speed while you're doing it. So if somebody's running away from you and you get an overkill on them, you're going to do as much damage. You're going to do damage to them while you're moving behind them. His W is a grenade. It has a knockback from the point of explosion. Does a ridiculous amount of damage. It's almost a nuke. Like, it scales ridiculously later on into the game. It's great for if you can jump forward using your next ability, which is Sprint, I think it's called, or Charge. His E, you can E forward, use your grenade, throw it ahead of somebody, knock them back into you, and then you can overkill or use your auto attack and kill them. His trait is that he's got a minigun, and it takes a couple of seconds to charge up. I think it's 2 or 3 seconds. However, once you get it charged up, it does a ridiculous amount of damage. It does way less than everybody else, but it also hits at, I think, 0.25 or 0.5 damage a second, instead of, like, 1 attack every second. So those are his standard cut builds and abilities. He's got 2 heroic abilities. Odin, which will act as a shield, will kind of come down and build armor around you, and then you have 2 abilities, Q and W. One of them is a line of attack in front of you, and then the other one is area around you. Everything gets hit by a rocket. I don't know. It's like kind of like a Gundam almost in a way. Just like rockets start shooting out everywhere. It doesn't even make any sense. Like Heavy Arms and Gundam Wing. Anyway. And then the other one is Mining Laser, which is a targetable ability. A laser pops down out of nowhere, probably deployed from a Hyperion.
I like how you called it Mining Laser.
It is Mining Laser, isn't it? What is it?
Dragon laser drill, yo.
Dragon.
It's used for mining.
Okay, StarCraft.
Oh, it's technically correct, yes.
Technically correct. The best.
Let's get us some Zelnaga artifacts.
Anyway, so
Kev, I have a question.
The sky. What?
Kev, his trait sounds really bad. How is that a trait? Seriously, I mean,
it really is a trait.
Can he move? Can he
like,
move while he's wound up? I forget.
Yeah, he can move while he's wound up. It takes a couple of seconds for it to unwind.
Your mic is very.
Zoya has entered the wind tunnel.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, so yeah, the mining drill drops from the sky. It creates a blockable part of terrain, so you can use it as a force field or like an obstruction of path, and then you can target it on people, and it does damage, and it's nice. You can also kill it, and it lasts a long time if you don't kill it.
Yeah, it's really good. So let's just jump right into the talents rather than just.
Whoa, let's talk about how he plays, man.
All right.
He's like one of my favorite heroes.
This is Kevin's moment to shine right here.
This is my moment.
See, I haven't been playing Muradin all week, but I have been playing Tychus all week, so it's...
Great. So he's a bruiser, ranged, melee, hero damage.
Kind of guy.
Bruiser? No, he's not a bruiser.
It's a joke. I'm just saying he's everything.
Okay.
He's very in your face.
He is.
He has to be because he's got like 3.5 range or 4.5 range. It's much lower than everybody else's. He has to survive that damage. But if you can get your minigun wound up and you're on a tanky hero and you have giant killer, you're gonna kill them. They're gonna die. There's like no way they can survive.
Is my mic fine, by the way? Are you guys gonna win tunnel?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
That's all right. It's okay. If you get the way you have to build him very specifically. I haven't found a way to build him other than this that he's actually. So, let's go into talents now. I just want to give that a that quick.
Okay. All right.
Discourse on how it fucking works.
Hey.
You have to be very mindful of position. You have to be a perfect positional player.
There we go.
Yeah, talents.
All right, level 1.
Yeah. We're gonna hop right into the talents, and the wind tunnel has been cured. Sometimes when Zoya doesn't talk, his mic's like, "Yo, where's that sound at? Where's that sound at?" And it's like it finds its computer. It's like, here's that sound, and it just gives us that.
Well, I just want to clarify why I'm not talking. It's not because I don't know Tychus. I've played him a lot. It's just that I agree with everything that Kev said so far.
And he's been talking for a long period of time, so you were silent. I'm not blaming you for it. I'm just saying your mic was lonely. It needed sound to feel like it has a job, and it found it. Now please mute that racket. All right, level 1.
So I'm actually kind of curious, Jake. What do you go for your talents?
So when I play Tycho, I actually get Path of the Warrior. Typically, because like you said, you are very much in your face. But I would actually consider getting Dash. Honestly, I think Dash has potential because it increases the range of run and gun.
I get Dash.
Yeah, I could see Dash being very good. So I've only been playing him for the week. So I don't have a set build per se. I do mix it up a little bit, but yeah, it's between the two of them. Regeneration Master, no. And armor piercing rounds, no. But
Oof, I am flaring my whole entire face at the Regen Master. No. Okay.
I get Dash. I get Dash.
First off, Dash I find to be completely useless because it's an added quarter. What was that? It's an added quarter to.
Did you just fuck him off?
Yeah, you did.
I did.
That's like $5 at the bank.
I'm okay with that. I had to prove a point.
So to any new viewers, when we say money in the bank, if you swear or do something offensive on stream, we put money in the bank, and eventually we're going to buy skins for the viewers. So that's what money in the
Jared
bank
is
means.
by far the largest contributor
He
to this.
he loves his fans.
Okay, so anyway, the thing that I actually love about Tychus is that pretty much most of his level 1 talents are something that I kind of revolve around. Overkill's actual added 20 damage actually is a lot of damage because he does that every point. He does that quicker than his normal auto attack until you get the rapid fire trait later on at level 7. So if you get Overkill, the Overkill added 20% damage. That's a ridiculous amount of damage. Regen Master is great on lanes on laning maps where you're stuck in lane and you're going to be around a lot of regen orbs a lot because you can get a lot of stacks of those very early, and you don't have to be. And it's typically given on tank heroes where you have to like kind of put yourself in danger to get it, but because he's like able to kind of jump in and then dash back, you can actually get a lot of orbs very quickly. And I typically get him up to 7 stacks, which is an added 21 health a second.
That is really good.
Which is really good. And then Path of the Warrior is also really good on maps where you don't actually get a lot of regen orbs.
Wait,
what Kevin is saying is Regen Master is better than everyone thinks. What I'm saying is it's still bad.
21 health a second is nothing to scoff at, especially when you...
No, I'm just like poking fun.
No.
It is definitely... Tychus is the only hero I ever take it on, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering at level 25, his base regen is 8, and you're adding an additional, what is it, 20 what?
21. Yeah, I mean that's pretty standard.
It's good. That's a pretty sizable jump in his regen. So.
The thing is that he doesn't have a lot of health, so Path of the Warrior is good. But if you get Regen Master and then you're using your minigun and with the Vampiric Assault, so you just your health bar you can like get chunked and then just immediately it just goes back up like this.
You know, this is why I love doing this segment, because I really want to try it now. That sounds a lot of fun. Like every time we talk about this, it's like, no, this is what I do, and it's like, huh, that sounds equally as good. If not better.
I learned a lot about Muradin today because of it.
Yeah, So, cool. I mean, I definitely think Dash is still very good. I don't agree with your opinion saying that it's bad. I think it's actually a lot of fun.
I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's as effective as the other level 1 talents.
I've stopped taking it as much, to be honest. I still take it most of the time.
Yeah.
It is only 25%. It's
so the thing
not that big of a deal.
The thing you have to like throw into that is that Dash is already a very short range that you move. I think it's only 300 range that you actually dash forward or backwards. Adding an additional 25% of that sounds really important, but it's actually just like the difference between this and like this. It's or even less than that. It's like this.
The reason I want to defend why I take it is because he's a big hero. Like Tychus is a big, beefy guy. He is not very tanky.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about it later why most of us take Odin because of that. But he is very squishy. If Tychus gets locked down,
Corey's face is the same as mine.
I know. I'm like, what?
Odin?
What? Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Oh man. So
level 4.
Yeah,
Focused attack is completely useless.
Yeah.
Because it's the same amount as everybody else, and for every I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense on him because his attack damage is way lower than everybody else's. It doesn't make sense to even remotely have it.
Yeah.
So Vampiric Assault is the only answer.
Yeah. I mean,
with how fast he attacks, he can heal up to full really quick.
It's ridiculous.
It's a no-brainer. There's no argument here. It's Vamp Assault. Done. Like there's no.
The only thing that would ever, and I grabbed the W upgrade once because I didn't read the full thing. Seeing the additional 120 damage on the grenade over the next 10 seconds that you do damage is awesome. That sounds great. And then you read to minions and buildings hit by it. And then it's like, oh wow, that's actually completely useless. if it was heroes as well, that would be a really strong hero. That'd be a really strong talent.
Yeah. That
would actually make me think about Vampiric Assault or not. In which case, I'd probably go Path of the Warrior and then that. But I always just go Vampiric Assault.
Move on to level 7. Rapid Fire.
Yeah, Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire.
I mean, if our team has no real initiation, no real engage, sometimes I like to get quarterback just because you can knock someone towards you from a little bit and just help your guys get a little bit closer. But that's like 2% of games.
Quarterback's a lot of fun. I'd say it's the most fun option to get, and it's definitely just fun to make sick plays with it. And Searing Attacks and first aid, maybe. Searing Attacks, no. But if you have Vamp Assault, you don't need first aid. We already discussed you have to get Vamp Assault. So yeah, honestly,
when Rapid Fire kicks in, holy crap! The amount of damage. Here's the thing: is I don't think that they really fully thought about the synergy between Rapid Fire and Giant Killer.
Yeah.
Because initially, if you have the Giant Killer, which comes at level 13, they already reduced it to 0.5% of the target's total health. But if you're doing 50% more, if you have 50% more attacks, it will chew through a hero. It's actually better to go against tanks than it is to go against damage heroes because you can just destroy them in a second. I mean seconds. To take them out from 100% to 0 health with Rapid Fire kicked in and Giant Killer. Searing Attacks I thought was actually the better, but then you think about it, 50% attack speed after 3 seconds, and that's indefinite, or Searing Attacks which cost mana and only last for 5 seconds. It's a no-brainer.
How fast do you drain your mana bar?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Rapid Fire is just, like you said, you get Rapid Fire over Searing Attacks 100% of the time for that reason.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, so let's talk about level 10. Apparently, everybody's got a lot of...
Apparently, there's actually an argument here.
I'm always scared of the drill. It's always so scary, so I'm surprised.
The only time I get drill is on Curse map.
Alright, so, yeah, just tell me first, why do you get Odin? Because you say you get Odin.
He is squishy. He's easy to kill. Odin is a second life bar. If you can Odin in the middle of a fight, you're able to turn things around, you're able to keep yourself alive, wait for your teammates to get in range, to peel off of you, to get yourself away from the fight. And you're gonna get. He's very squishy. He is not a tanky hero. Even when you build him the way Kevin does with all the life steal and the healing, Tychus is not a tanky hero. If you get caught out of position, if you get hooked, he will die. I like Odin because it's a second life bar.
Okay, well, I have a question. How does it affect his DPS? Because that's what he's for, right? He's a big DPS guy, so it's like
they did buff Odin's damage, so it's not horrible. But what's better? You're about to die, you Odin, you live a bit longer, your teammates potentially peel off of you, and then you're back in the fight doing more damage, or you just die. I mean, people that know how to focus, like when they see the laser, you either run away from it, or all 5 of you turn to it and kill it in 2 seconds. Laser does not have a lot of health. People seem to think that it's indestructible. The only time I get laser is on... What's the map called? I can't believe Curse Hollow, right? With the tributes.
Yeah. I can see.
I don't know why my name's. That's the only time I take the laser because it's just like, hey, I dropped this laser at the tribute, and you guys really can't fight here. Sorry, I have this really strong laser. I think Kevin takes Odin too, right?
Yeah, Kev. What do you think?
Yeah,
Kev.
What do I pick?
I want to know.
What do I pick indeed? It's actually very situational.
Okay.
Cursed Hollow is a good time to pick mining laser. The dragon laser. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're typically by level 10, I actually hold off a little bit if I can on picking which one I actually pick because. If they have a Nova and Nova's got triple tap, I go for Odin every single time. Because if she triple taps you ever, you're probably going to die. However, Odin will take the entire thing and you'll just come right back out of it. Odin is nice for that health buff. And Zoya's right. If you're gonna, you can't do damage if you're not gonna die, if you're dead. And later on, actually, level 20 Odin's pretty nice because you have that, you can just hit E, and then all of a sudden you have a nuke, and it comes down, and it does like a ridiculous amount of damage to everybody around you. So Odin is nice. I think in one of my plays of the week, I had a thing where I went 1v2, I killed one person, and then I Odin'd, and then walked out of the fight as an Arthas was just chasing me down the entire time. It's good if you need that additional health, and Zoya's right. It's just a front piece of armor, and then you're kind of pop back out of it. However, I do really like Draken Laser Drill. I find if you're not running against Corey's Barbarian, who's going to immediately jump on you and kill you,
Corey's Barbarian
you're good to go with a drill, especially because at level 20, if you get the Palace down to 50% health, the drill can take it out. Okay. And outside of the range of the Palace. And the drill at level 20 will scale up to 300 damage a second and has pretty much a screen and then some worth of range.
It's ridiculous. At level 20, the drill is so good. Like especially if it's late game, if you're pushing their base, you can just put it at pretty much entrance to any lane, doesn't matter the map, and just attack their base for free, and just defend it. It's just does an absurd amount of damage. But the drill. You can block lanes with it, so I like it a lot. On Cursed Hollow, I've made some stupid plays with it this week on Cursed Hollow. Just like, oh, Zeratul, you're trying to get away? Nah, son, there's a drill in your face suddenly. Where did that drill come from? Oh, you're dead? Oh, your buddy Tassadar is dead too? How does it feel?
Zoya brings up the point of, and it's a valid point. If you have the drill go down and everybody focuses it, then yes, it will die very quickly. However, here's the thing. If you're in a 5v5 fight and there's a drill that goes down, what are you going to focus on? The guy who's in your face, who's the tank, who's going to be CCing you, or are you going to be focusing on the drill?
And at the same time, if they're focusing a drill, that's
exactly. They're not focusing somebody else.
Like,
So
well, that's when
it comes down to very And so there is that question, and I will frequently not throw down the drill because I know it'll just be immediately eliminated.
But that's the thing. Drill positioning is key to a good Tychus, because putting the drill in a spot that's out of their way to kill it, so they're moving, so they're shifting to kill that drill, and then you can pick off one of their players. Like it's they have to make a call, they have to make a decision, and then more times than less, they make either a bad decision, like, okay, if you just drop the drill in front of you in the middle of a team fight,
drill is very similar to Hyperion in that sense, where sometimes Hyperion, if you don't know how to use Hyperion, it's gonna be terrible.
I agree,
guys. Hyperion focus fires towers and minions before heroes. So if you're in the middle of the lane and you use Hyperion and there's creeps there, you're not gonna hit a single hero.
Yeah.
Drill's very similar in that sense. I do want to say,
really
but the difference is you can target your drill.
Yeah.
Just to clarify that.
When
you place the drill down...
He means there's a time and place for that.
I know, I'm just making sure the viewers understand that with the drill, you place the drill down, it will attack a random enemy, but you can then retarget it by pressing R and then clicking on the target that you want it to hit.
Okay. But the flip side to that, placing it out of the way is, like Jared was saying, if you place it too far away, then it's not super hard for the other team to just back up a little bit and be like, okay, now that's completely out of. So, there's some push and pull with that.
Like, let's take this discussion, and remember at the very beginning of me saying Tychus, I said one thing. I said he's a very positional hero. Everything about Tychus is about positioning, and that's not so much to say for other heroes. And you'll be like, "Oh, Lily's also a positioning hero." I'm gonna be like, "Shut the hell up."
There's something that's almost unique to Tychus. If you look at every other hero in the game, there are very few that are like this. Tychus, both of his heroics are very good, even when you take out the situational factor. Like, it doesn't have to be situationally used for... You can take the drill on every map. My playstyle, I prefer Odin. I do not think the drill is bad because I take Odin. I just prefer Odin because of my playstyle. But Tychus is very unique in the sense that both his ults are equally good. And that's what makes... I love that about him. I mean, there are other heroes like that, but very few.
I could discuss his level 10 talents all day.
But, moving on.
Yeah, 13.
Giant Killer. If you got rapid fire before, Giant Killer is so incredibly strong.
The way they stack so well.
It's perfect. A lot of people go for the Q slow, but I stay away from overkill after I've got Vampiric Assault because it doesn't sap life for you. So you kind of put yourself in a situation because you can't cancel out of overkill's channel. So I don't want to rely on it any more than I have to. I only use it when I'm chasing somebody down, not ever in a team fight.
Yeah, I personally would not get Stimpak. And I don't know if I'd get Relentless. I really don't think I would. Yeah, Giant Killer is definitely my pick. Every time I play the game, I get Giant Killer. Are you trying to give a shout out to Nesquik right now, Jared?
Nesquik, sponsor Town Hall, please.
Oh my god.
We weren't even on camera. There we go.
For a brief moment.
We weren't on camera, damn it!
They saw
I was doing that the whole time.
For a split second. They don't need to see it. They don't need to see it. Anyway. So, I don't know. I go Giant Killer, personally.
Yeah, I could say, just looking at a glance, that would be my...
Even when there's not tanks, even if it's not a super tanking Giant Killer, because of the attack speed. Yeah, Giant Killer, all the way. Easy choice. Move on. Level 16. Go.
I would guess Lock and Load, but that's just my...
I mean...
Depends on your team comp. Executioner can be very good.
Every team should have something that would proc Executioner. So, I mean, I almost always take Executioner.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if there's, if there's, oh my god, I will never take, but there was no way that Executioner will ever proc because of our team comp, then I guess Lock and Load.
Okay.
Maybe if you took the, the additional range on Frag Grenade, Concussive Grenade, potentially. I've never actually played with the damage on it, but, I mean, Executioner. I mean, there's always going to be a way it's going to proc.
Yeah.
Okay. Kev, agree, disagree?
It depends.
I mean, yeah, that's what I said. It depends.
His talent, I was thinking about doing, this is how you build Tychus, and then I was like, this is... It's going to require, 4 different builds. Executioner, I go for, yes, if there's, a Stitches who gets Putrid Bile, I go for Executioner 100% of the time. If there's a situation where I find I'm chasing down people a lot, then I'll always go for Rapid Fire, Lock and Load. Lock and Load's great for chasing people down, not really that great other than that. Sometimes kind of positioning in fight, but if you're Sham 2, you're already in the perfect position. And
this guy.
Concussion grenade is so amazing. It's like it's 100% knockback.
I mean that is.
You will throw it, and somebody at the very edge of the range of the grenade will come all the way back to you.
So I can actually see a quarterback concussion grenade build being stupidly fun because I've never tried it, but I can see that being insanely fun to do.
Yeah.
And you could probably make sick plays with it too, but.
Yeah. So that's a really nice one too. I don't know which I prefer entirely. I try to go for Executioner because if you have a Tassadar, Stitches, etc., you are now doing 50% more damage on every attack, and that's just ridiculous on him.
Yeah. It seems like we all run a pretty similar build with Tychus, but I'm actually intrigued, and I think I'm going to branch out a little bit more and try stuff like the quarterback concussion grenade build. That sounds fun, because I feel like he actually could have a lot of diversity in him. But between us, we all seem to agree on a pretty consistent build, which just seems to make sense for like a logical standpoint. But I'm glad we disagreed with the heroic. But we got level 20 still, so.
It wasn't more of a disagreement. It was more of like a premise.
Well, different. Yeah. But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Level 20?
Level 20.
Yeah.
This might be the weird one.
You think so?
No, my opinion is going to differ from all three of yours.
I think you're going to say Fury.
No, I take Bolt.
You take Bolt.
I knew he was going
to
to
say Bolt.
Because he's squishy.
Yeah. I like the mobility. I like the way Bolt works. You can get into... You can chase with... You won't ever really use it for chasing, but you can. But I don't know. I like Bolt. It's one of the few heroes that I actually do get Bolt on.
That spell right there is one of the things that makes me the most angry.
If
when
I
I'm
get
in pubs.
drill, if I get drill, I take drill upgrade.
Yeah.
If I'm in pubs and I'm like fighting against somebody and I see them blink away after level 20, I'm just like, why? Why would you?
There's so many. Depends on the character, yes.
Yeah, it does. But
the drill upgrade is just too good.
If I take drill, I get the drill upgrade. But for Odin, I don't really like.
Oh.
I always use Odin as a. Hey, let's live here, not let's use the big red button and nuke like Kev likes to do.
So let's talk about Fury of the Storm on Tychus.
Well, I think Kevin's about to rage right now, so let's see what Kev has to say first.
He doesn't look happy.
He looks very upset that we're not talking about big red button.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I like on level 20. That's the problem. I've played around with all of them, and every single time I get to level 20 and I'm like, I don't know what to pick. I know. They're all so good. If you
I thought you were about to shit all over me picking Bolt.
No,
okay.
I have no idea what to pick at level 20.
Money in the bank.
I've played so many. I've played so many games of Tychus, and I still have no idea what I want to pick when I get to level 20. It doesn't make any sense.
That's
up is down, black is white, left is right. It's just, I don't know. Fury of the Storm is awesome because you chain so much damage.
Yeah.
You can take out jungles in seconds. It doesn't even make any sense how much damage it does. Bolt of the Storm's great because he's just so range and you just want to get everywhere. And you can't. You can't be everywhere, but you have to be. You need Bolt of the Storm to do it, but you can't pick it because there's also Laser Drill. And Laser Drill is amazing. You know how much damage you do with Laser Drill? It's way too much. Far too much damage. Tychus at level 20s. Towns just don't make sense. They don't, and I hate it. They're all too good. They're all too good.
And rant.
That's all I have to say. You're like, Kevin, what do you pick at level 20? And I'm like, I don't know.
Tychus expert, no clue. Oh, that's good though. That's good. I like to see that kind of diversity, and that is the ideal talent tier right there. That's how Blizzard should be aiming to get all of their talent tree levels.
Yep,
that'd be awesome. Awesome to see. But cool. I've learned so much about Tychus. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Today was great. Well, Tychus and Muradin. This was great show. I love the discussion.
Two good discussions.
But that wraps it up, guys. Town Hall episode 13. Yeah. If this was your first time viewing, we run the show every Tuesday night, exact same time, 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Yeah, we typically end in an hour, but today's show was going really well, and we want to keep going. We will end between an hour and 2 hours every week, though. So if you guys want to follow this stream and follow all of our Twitters, we always tweet about when we're going live and stuff. Every Tuesday night, guys. Let's go ahead and start getting some shout-outs. Kev, take it away, man.
Shout out to my YouTube channel because my YouTube channel is awesome. So please do me the favor, check out youtube.com/shamtoo, SCHAMTOO, also right below my chin, right there. As well as my Twitter and everything else. And then shout out to my mother because it was Mother's Day.
Wow. Oh, hype.
So Bonnie Pearson, I know you're out there. I love you, Mom.
So I gave shout outs to my mom. Now everybody's gonna do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, do it. And then shout out to everybody that I play with because you guys keep me sane. Because solo queue is terrible. I hate it.
It's so...
But I do it so often.
Next week, let's talk about solo queue again. We haven't talked about that since like week 2.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right. Omega Black Mage, Mr. Corey, take it away, man.
That's right. Follow me at Omega Black Mage on Twitter. Shout outs to Cooby's Muradin for being so sick. Shout outs to Kev's mom. And
I'm done.
Yep.
Jake.
Yo, same stuff. Twitter, Solid JGG. YouTube, Solid JGG. The VOD will be there. I'm doing more other stuff. I'm actually going to make a sick Bright Wings Emerald Wind Plays video. And I'm going to make a Tycho grenade build video. It's going to be great.
Yeah, please. That'd be sick.
Because Tychus, that build sounds really fun. No Lily Love, Tamzem. Screw Lily. She's fine. She's fine. Yeah, no, just shout outs there. And I actually do stream on LG.TV/SolidJake, so you can find my stream there. Feel free to check it out. And shout outs to my mom for making me sick cookies on Mother's Day.
Okay. Well, I am the one that has a million things to say when it comes to shout out. Check out my team at ibdgaming.com. We have a StarCraft 2 and a Hearthstone squad. I am a player for the Hearthstone team. We also have a really solid StarCraft 2 team. We took out Root Gaming in a show match, or either like a tournament or show match the other day. I don't remember which it was. I don't follow StarCraft too much anymore, but shout out to the IBD StarCraft team. If you guys like the show, follow the stream here every Tuesday night. I also will be streaming other games as well on this stream. So if you want to see some Arcade, some Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, it'll all be on this channel. If you guys want to support it even further, besides following, you can hit that subscribe button. There will be a list down below, probably tomorrow in the description. You guys can see everything that you will get from subscribing. But shout out to all of my co-hosts. We will be on iTunes soon. You can check out VODs at youtube.com/SolidJakeGG. Big shout out to Heroes and Nexus. We get a lot of information from them. We use them for talent builders. We will be linking those in the description for the videos as well. You can also check out the VOD on Heroes and Nexus, usually every Wednesday. For that, guys, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you guys next week at... actually, forgot one thing. We have an email. I believe it is Town Hall... Was it
Town Hall Alliance?
Town Hall Show at gmail.com.
You sure it's Town Hall Show?
Oh, wait, no, it's Town Hall Alliance. That's right.
Town Hall Alliance at gmail.com. That was our original name. We actually removed the Alliance from our name. But Town Hall Alliance at gmail.com for now. But if you want to submit fan art
or questions for the show for next week, anything you want to let us know, feedback, everything, please send them to that email.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's been Town Hall episode 13. See you guys in exactly 1 week for episode 14. This is Town Hall signing out, guys. Good night.